All right, Malik Lampkin. Probation, are you ready on this one? Hello. How are you doing today?
I'm all right.
All right, today is the day I believe I consider removal of GPS.
Yes, Judge.
All right, how has he been doing?
Judge, there's no concerns on this at this point. With his probation, he's been doing exactly what he needs to do, reporting as needed. His drug tests have been fine. We don't have any concerns. I did briefly speak with Mr. Lampkin and his grandfather, who is here and who's always been here. And both of them say that he's doing what he's supposed to do. He's still seeing the people at Center for Healthcare Services. He's on his meds. And at this point, they have no concerns.
All right, and if his grandfather can come up. Hello. All right, thank you so much for being a support system for him. How's everything going?
Pretty good. I have to get a look. Yeah, I'm ex-military, so we shot all these weapons through my ears.
Ah, okay. Oh, I am too, but it's just allergies for me.
Oh, that's nice.
So how's he doing?
I'm pretty good. We're making sure that he goes to the Center for Health Services on time for the probation guy. Taking his meds and just really, staying around and working with him and everything. So he's doing very well.
All right, is there anything you need from the court for him?
No, Your Honor, except he says he wants the lotto numbers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, we all do.
Yeah. But other than that, no, Your Honor, he's doing very well.
All right, and are you okay with the removal of the GPS?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, and he's been going to a lot of, his mother is an evangelist.
Mhm.
He's been doing, going to, seeing a lot of people get baptized and things like that. So he's really turned himself over to, to Jesus, so that's really helped him.
Okay.
He's turning, being a new Christian. He's born again, he says.
And are they just baptizing in an indoor pool?
Mhm.
I would always tease my brother because I ended up getting baptized in the creek. I'm like, you just been in a pool. I was in a creek, so I know. All right, thank you so much. And thanks for being there for him. If there's anything that comes up that you need help with something with him, just let probation know or come back to the court, okay?
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Good thing.
Judge, I did ask Mr. Lampkin if he was working or anything like that, and he said he's not doing that at this time, that he is in the process of applying for his SSI.
Okay. All right, make sure you apply for that and stay on top of that, okay?
Oh.
All right, is there anything you need from the court?
No, ma'am.
All right, so I'm gonna lift the GPS, but don't get wild with the GPS, like, oh, I'm free. All right, still slowly work your way back into society, okay? So you can, if I were you, even though you're not gonna be on GPS and there's not gonna be a curfew for you, I would still keep up with the curfew and just slowly extend it. And remember, nothing good happens after 12 a.m. You understand?
Yes.
All right, so I'll order removal of GPS.
Judge.
All right, anything else you need from the court? All right, if something comes up and you need some help with something, call your probation officer. If you feel as though they're not addressing it, you can always come back to the court, all right? All right, thanks for dressing appropriately for court. Good luck to you.
Thank you. Your Honor.
All right, bye-bye. All right. Oh, thank you so much. You are just bam. Thank you. All right, court is calling 2024 CR 4260 and 2022 CR 4259W, State of Texas versus Renee Angel Cantu. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Daniel Escobar from the state of Texas.
Defense?
Floyd Barrera, Jr.
All right, and are you Mr. Cantu?
Good morning, Your Honor. Yes, ma'am.
All right, you entered a plea on April 2nd of no contest in each of these cases. The court found there was sufficient evidence to find you guilty in each of the cause numbers. Have both parties had a chance to review the PSI report, state?
Yes, Judge.
Defense?
Your Honor, this is the same PSI
Yes.
that was prepared for you when you first placed him on probation. So yes, we have.
No. I haven't placed him on probation.
Yes, Your Honor, he's on probation. And you gave him probation with all of these cases pending.
Ah, just one moment. Could I see another file on Mr. Cantu?
And Judge, yes, that is correct.
All right. I only have two files before me. That's why.
I have the PSI if you'd like to see.
Oh, no. I'm wondering if you all have any objections to the PSI.
No, it's the same PSI that we've seen before.
All right.
She gave me 6 year probation. We applied for 5, so she gave me 6.
All right, thank you. All right, and each of the cause numbers according to the plea bargain agreement. The state is opposed to your application. And it states in here that this is running concurrent with CM 105821.
And I think, Judge, that's one of the 2 cases, I think back when this pled, that waiver number may not have existed. So
Yes.
They just use this again instead.
All right, and they're taking in consideration CM 104043, NIMAG number 712122 and 712121. All right, state, you are opposed?
Yes, Judge.
All right, any witnesses from either side?
Just my client, Judge.
All right, if you can raise your right hand for me, please. Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am, Your Honor.
All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
Rene Cantu.
All right, defense, you
Good
may
morning.
proceed with direct examination.
Thank you, Judge. Good morning, Mr. Cantu. How old are you, sir?
I am 33 years old.
Okay. And are you currently on probation in this court?
Yes, I am.
All right, and what are you on probation for?
I am on probation for a possession of manufactured delivered 4 to 200 grams that happened, I believe, in 2021.
Okay. Now, when you applied for probation in that case, which the court just ordered up, all of the matters that you've taken care of with Mr. Neil Cordero, they were all pending and included in the PSI that the court placed you on probation for. Is that correct?
Yes, sir, that's correct.
Okay.
All in 2021.
But since that time, most of those cases, the majority of those cases have been disposed of, either taking them into consideration or just outright dismissed.
Correct.
And now you're before the court on 2 of the cases that were pending before we even applied for probation in the case that you're on probation
Oh,
for.
yes.
Is that correct?
Yes, sir, that's correct.
Now, is it true and correct that since the court has placed you on probation, no violations of your probation have ever been filed or have occurred?
That's correct, not one. And I've been on this monitor for 3 years and since then.
All right,
and
so-
all good.
You're on a monitor for 3 years, no violations of the monitor.
Correct.
You've been drug tested for 3 years and no violations of any drug testing.
At
You've
all.
been, suffice it to say, 100% clean
Correct.
and in 100% compliance and in obedience with the court's probation.
Correct. And I don't know if the court remembers, but they gave me like a list of 9 things to do.
Correct.
Like intensive outpatient treatment, 12 weeks, a 90-day program, like just 9 separate things, but I've completed all of them. So yeah,
All right. And are you gainfully employed?
yes, sir, I am.
Are you full-time employed?
I sure am.
And so suffice it to say that on page 2 of this PSI, the court was informed of this myriad of cases that occurred prior to you being placed on probation.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, they knew that before, since 2021.
And obviously, these cases are now disposed of, except for 2 that are before the court today.
Correct, yes, sir.
Okay. So have any negative consequences occurred in your life since the court placed you on probation?
Not with
The court.
the court, but with myself, of course, I'm like, so when I wrote the court a few times ago, I really didn't mean disrespect when I said, I'm not one of these hoodlum thumbs or thugs. I really did mean that. Like, I used to
Be a
mess up.
hoodlum.
Yes.
You used to be a hoodlum thug.
Yes,
That's
ma'am.
what you're saying.
So, like, I didn't mean it in a bad way, no offense, but I thought I was Billy Badass, excuse my language, but obviously that wasn't for me. So that's why I have done everything good now, because that life was stupid.
Okay,
like-
so here's the thing. This is the point that the court wants everybody to get to. Number one, when he was placed on probation in this court for that drug case,
Mhm.
the state was silent to his application.
Mhm.
When I accepted that plea, I was not given any of the facts of this because these were unindicted cases.
Correct.
So I would like for us to get to the point as to the drug dealing, because when the stipulations that were entered into, that everybody agreed, these are the steps. He's selling drugs and he's moving a large quantity of drugs. That's why this is over, I think, 200 grams. And the case that he's on probation for is not. The case that he's on probation for is, I think, 4,200.
Correct.
And these are over 200 grams.
Judge, when the offense that he's on probation for occurred, he was involved in drugs, clearly. They're all stated on page 2 of the old PSI. And Your Honor, all of that is history. And it is obviously known to this court by virtue of the fact that since you have been in control of his life, placed him on a monitor 3 years ago, he has respected all the rules and regulations of the law and of this court. And so we cannot deny his history. It is there before you. It was for you clearly when you respectfully granted him his probation. Judge, he has made a 100% turnaround from the life that he was living. That is not who he is today. And he has 3 years of sobriety to show for his really a miraculous turnaround. Can I finish?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. So we respectfully submit that he has proven to this court in every way that he is sober, he is gainfully employed, he is making an honest living for maybe the first time, and all due to this court's surveillance and this court's observations and this court's control. There is no reason to believe that he cannot successfully complete any term of probation that you would consider placing him on. To incarcerate him after he's made such a significant change in his life, Judge. I mean, this is a success case. We don't have a lot of them in this world of ours, but he has proven himself in every single way imaginable to this court. So the purpose of the state being opposed to his probation, well, clearly, historically, I respect their position. But to oppose probation today, after the man has lived a law-abiding life, a peaceful life, and a hardworking, diligent life as far as being lawfully, gainfully employed, to throw all of that in the toilet and incarcerate him would serve what purpose? I mean, clearly punishment is punishment, but probably God is the only person who knows how much he has punished himself over his young years. You know where his father is. His father's in the penitentiary for dealing drugs. You know from the last hearing, when we asked you for probation, this man is grown up in CPS world, going from home to home to home to home. Not a mom, not a dad.
Okay, I
Growing
understand
up.
your
Yeah,
arguments,
yeah.
but do you have any more questions for him?
Yes. Do you believe that going to the penitentiary after you changed your life would benefit you?
Not at all.
Do you believe that it would benefit anybody in this courtroom or anybody in the community because after 3 years of sobriety, now you're locked up? Would that help society?
No, that would be kind of dumb.
Okay, well, Are you a contributing member to this community today?
Oh, yes, for the past 3 years, yes, now I pay tax. I do everything legally now.
Oh.
Kind of side note. So yes, I just want you to hear for my own mouth.
That's fine, there's no question.
All right, so I tell you what, counsel, you finish your
Yeah.
questions, then I'll allow state to
Thank you, Judge.
do cross-examination, and then
I'll
if
pass
there's
the witness,
anything
Judge.
you wish to address with the court, you can. State, it's your cross.
Judge, sir, just looking very quickly at this PSI, one, did you review it with your attorney?
Yes,
Well, we're aware that during one portion, it says the defendant denied suffering any abuse as a child and reported CPS was not involved in his childhood.
no, I was in CPS for from 9 to about 17 years old.
So why would it be in the PSI that your attorney didn't object to that CPS wasn't involved? And this is all stuff that they're getting directly from you.
I was in Child Protective Services my whole, from St. PJ's, from St. Jude's, yeah, like I could name them, Low Ridge.
Okay, so just going back, also looking at your criminal history, you agree with me, you have quite an extensive criminal history.
Yes, sir, I do agree with you.
And being out of Denver, it would be a assault to drugging victim where you did get probation. You were given 4 years probation, and that probation was revoked.
That wasn't, that was like a lesser charge. It was a regular fight, except to like a plea. Like the plea that I had, it
Right,
had
but-
to
but
be
you
something
agree
about
that
drugging.
You have that in your.
Oh, yes, when I was 19 years old, I'm 33 now. I was a teenager.
And again, it was revoked on that back in 2020, correct? It says
Mm,
right here in the PSI. granted
The case
removal.
happened in December 21st, 2014, I believe.
One other
It
thing-
happened when I was 19 years old.
One other thing I wanted to ask or get into really quickly was, what's changed? What exactly has changed?
I grew up, I'm not kidding anymore. I was hurt, I was angry. And I know I can't blame anybody for my childhood. Like he's like, yeah, your mom's dead, your dad's, who cares? Like I'm an adult now. Get over it. You have stuff to do, you have to be an adult, have a job, you have everything. Be a man,
At the time of this offense, the offense that you're here before the court on, who was living with you at that home?
I was actually hopping around at that time.
Okay.
So I did need money. So I was trying any little way, to get money at that when that happened.
And again, this is after you've already been arrested for other cases and already had issues with drugs in the past, is that correct?
No, I've never had a drug issue at all in my lifetime until these drug cases. Never in my life. So once again, that drugging victim is a regular fight out of Denver, Colorado when I was 19, except the plea had to be assault with drugging victim, but there was like no drugs involved at all. That was just like part of the plea.
All right, any other questions?
That's all, Judge.
All right, I have a question.
Yes, Judge.
So everybody, when they come before me, they're always talking about me, 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 me. My question is, what do you think was happening with the drugs you were selling?
What happened? Say it again. I'm
What
sorry.
do you think was happening with the drugs you were selling? What do you think they were going?
Hurting lives.
And you continued.
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
And why were you selling drugs?
Because I needed money and I believe I had a job working at a warehouse. And I went from making like $6,000 a week to maybe $300-400. So that was not, I was so used to like living with $3,000 or $4,000 for my rent, for everything. So I started like panicking, like, oh, dude, I need money, So that's when I thought I was Billy Badass, and I wasn't.
Oh, yeah. So walk me through this. So you are working.
Yes, ma'am.
So how do you reach out to somebody saying, hey, I want to sell some drugs for you?
So I was kind of in the ghetto, the west side, and it's not hard at all. Like you literally just go right there on Guadalupe, hey, dude, what do you want? You have everything there. So of course I initiated, I'm like, hey, I need some money. Like, what can I do? And then, yeah, that's how it. I'm like, okay, you want to work? Well, here we go. And literally, like the second time, that's when the officers like, oh yeah, by the way, I'm an officer. Like shit.
Okay. All right, any other questions?
No.
Any other witnesses?
No, Your Honor.
All right, court will hear argument.
Judge, the state's gonna argue here that I think he should at least get the 10-year minimum. These are a lot of drug cases that are all coming in very rapid succession. He also has a very extensive criminal history. The state asked what's changed between now and then, and there really wasn't an answer that was given. There was no details as to what he's done, other than being on under court supervision, where he knows if he tests positive for drugs, that's something that can get him in trouble. If he does anything out of line or commits another offense, that's something that's just going to make it worse for him. So again, it's something that we haven't really had any details of what exactly has changed. So the state would ask for 10 years in the prison.
All right,
Judge, his entire criminal history was known to the state when this court placed him on probation. Nothing negative has occurred. Everything positive has occurred. This is a successful probationer. This is someone who has changed his life around. I don't understand the logic. What has changed? This man has changed. The man before you, Exhibit A, has changed. His entire criminal history is spelled out very clearly when the same state of Texas recommended probation
oh, I
Or
think they
at
were
least-
silent.
or remain silent. And no objection at that time was offered by the state when this court granted him probation. Judge, this court has helped him, as he said in here. Why do you want to be on probation? And he said, because it'll be my mentor. And you, whether you have agreed to or not, have been his mentor. You, whether you knew it or not, have had a very positive impact on this man's life. And Judge, I can't underestimate the strength of the statement. He has not stepped across the legal line in 3 years. How can we punish him today for what happened when he was 19 or 20 or 21 or whatever? And
I
these
think this is
cases,
from 2022.
these cases were already pending when the court considered everything and placed him on probation. He has not disappointed you. He has not disappointed probation. He has not disappointed anyone. His employer loves him. He is a hard-working, sober, contributing member of this community. To throw his life away and give him 10 years in prison, Judge, I don't see what good would come out of that, because he has demonstrated that he not only can talk the talk before you today, he's walked it. Every step, Judge, he's walked with you, with your probation office. I mean, thank you. He's not who he was because of this court. And now, at the last minute, to pull the rug out from under him and say that we need now to protect society from what you did back before I gave you probation, I don't see the logic in that. What purpose would be served to incarcerate a middle-aged man who admitted that he was a young, want to be the person who did not respect the
I mean,
law?
he wasn't young, because this is in 2022, so it's 2 years ago. He tells me he's in his 30s.
Correct.
So doing young and dumb things is usually teenagers, not people who are in their late 20s. I mean, that,
Yes, I
for
understand
the
that.
court, that argument, I'm young and I'm dumb and I'm in my late 20s and I can't control my impulses, that's usually for teenagers.
Sure. And that statement was going to all of that history that was brought up by the state, you know, in Denver, Colorado, and here and there and everywhere. That's where that statement was going. Judge, he admitted his guilt. He came before this court. These cases have been pending a long time, and he has never absconded from the jurisdiction of this court. He's never missed a court date or a court hearing.
Ever.
And, you know, he has patiently waited for this day to arrive, and it has. And I just would ask the court to consider the good that this court has done in this man's life, and why, you know, throw the baby out with the bathwater at this time, Judge. It's you know, 10 years of probation. He's done so far so good. You can still give him the 10 years the state wants you to give him today. You can give it to him tomorrow, next week, next month, or next year.
All right, thank you. Anything else from the state?
Judge, again, these few cases that you have before you, you didn't have this information whenever you decided to give them probation the last time. It's because they were still pending. They hadn't been indicted yet. There was no movement on them. Now that they have come forward, this is what we offered based off of the facts that are in these cases. Again, the court did not have these before. You have them now. You have the ability to take this into consideration. This isn't a teenager who's making bad decisions. This is a grown adult. It's a grown man. He made these choices and the consequences that both of them.
All right, thank you. All right, so Deputy Mejia, Deputy Laura, if you'll take him into custody and counsel, you need to be back here at 11 and the court will make its decision.
Thank you, Judge.
All right.
You're on, I'm on the video conferencing with the State Board of Pardons and Parole.
Sure.
Exactly at 11. It'll only be about a 30-minute.
So that's fine.
Can I come back? Brett?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Juan Arambala. Hello, thank you for dressing appropriately for court. All right, today is plea deadline date,
Yes, Judge.
and where are we?
So
Is
good
this going to
morning.
be, good morning, is this going to be an agreement? And I'm sorry, if you could introduce yourself to the court reporter?
Hi, good morning. I'm Jonathan Watkins and I have Christian Vega with me. Good morning, Judge.
Good morning.
Your Honor, at this time, the defense would respectfully request a trial setting.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, I need a jury trial setting on family violence. How long do y'all expect this trial to last?
Just a few days. Judge.
All right, so it's 2 days. And if you all, before you leave, if you can make sure you do an acknowledgement of discovery.
Yes, Judge.
Yes, ma'am.
So how's it been going?
Judge, we've been blessed. Busy though. Yourself?
Oh, busy.
Yeah.
But there's a storm barreling towards Louisiana, so I have to make sure I check on my family, make sure everything is okay. All right, September 9th would be your jury trial
And
date.
it's impacts, just so they know. Judge.
All right.
Yeah.
And it will be impact court.
How impactful?
We shall see. All right, any other questions?
No, and we're going to continue to confer with the state, Your Honor. We have an open line of communication. We appreciate that.
All right, so once you sign the reset form, you'll be excused. Just have a seat and attorneys don't leave until I've received the acknowledgement of discovery.
And hope everyone stays safe, Judge.
Oh, thank you so much. You guys have a good one.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Mario Herrera.
So will she be released from custody? Because I believe we entered into the plea. Okay, thank you, Your Honor. She did report to drug court and they rejected her because she didn't qualify.
All right, court is calling 2024 CR 3190, State of Texas versus Jennifer Nicole Humphreys. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state
Daniel Escobar from the state of Texas.
defense?
Peter Calderola for Ms. Humphries, Your Honor.
Are you Ms. Humphrey?
Yes, ma'am.
You entered a plea on May 13th of no contest. According to the plea bargaining agreement, the state is recommending deferred adjudication. And they are asking that your community service supervision, duty for a total of 3 years. Is there anything you wish to say on behalf of your client, counsel?
Not at this time, Your Honor.
All right, raise your right hand for me, please. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
Jennifer Humphries.
You're gonna need to speak up.
Jennifer Nicole Humphries.
All right. And I'm sorry, just a moment, counsel.
Yes, Your Honor.
Listed on this is your mom.
That is correct, Judge.
All right, are you standing in for her?
I am standing in for it. I'm sorry I didn't make that announcement.
Ms. Humphries, do you have any objection to this attorney standing in?
No, I do not.
All right, so Ms. Humphries, the reason why you're in custody is that you didn't report for your TAP evaluation and PSI. Why didn't you report?
I had to work that day and I wasn't able to reschedule my my appointment with the medical records.
For what?
For medical records, because it's by appointment only with the clinics and I have to
All
retreat.
right, so your number one thing was to report. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
All right, so what do you do for a living?
I work for Ashton Carter. I retrieve medical records by appointment only. And
Judge, and I have some of her pay stubs here if the court would like to see
All right,
them.
no, just give me a moment. So specifically, what do you do in this medical field?
I retrieve medical records and I have to upload them for certain insurances and stuff like that.
All right, so you're trailing off. You need to speak up so the court reporter can hear, and more importantly, so that I can hear, because I'm making the decision on whether or not I'm following this plea. And if I cannot hear you, guess what? I end up making assumptions, and I don't want to make assumptions. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so you say you retrieve medical records,
Yes.
and this location you working at, do they have medications there?
Do you have medications? No.
All right,
Well, I work in the medical records department at different facilities. So, yeah,
and do they know about your history?
yes, they do. But see, I work for Ashton Carter and Ashton Carter sets me up with appointments for different clinics, but I'm not in the medical part. It's in the back office part where there's no medications or anything like that. It's just like an office setting.
So is he aware of your criminal history and that you have this possession case?
I'm not sure if they know about this possession case, my
Well, I
recent
mean-
one, because they haven't run a background check on me recently, but
So did you
I've
tell
been there
them?
for a
That will
while.
be a no, correct?
no, I have not told them.
All right,
my
so you need to
recent-
tell them.
I will definitely tell them, let them know.
Do you have any children?
I do,
What are their ages
16, 15, and 13.
and where are they now?
Right now, they're at home.
Who's at home with them?
Daniel Nihishihara, who I live with.
Sorry, who?
Daniel, my friend Daniel.
Who is your friend Daniel?
He's my friend. I don't know. He's just a friend.
And I'm sorry, give me your ages of your children again.
16, 15, and 13.
All
My
right,
13-year-old is at my grandma's house. She lives with my grandma.
She lives with your grandmother.
Yeah.
15-year-old, is that a girl or a boy?
He's a boy.
16-year-old, girl or boy?
He's a boy.
All right, why is your 13-year-old living with your grandmother or her
Um,
grandmother?
Because she decides to live over there. She prefers to live with my grandma.
And how long have you known this Daniel person?
Since what, 18 years probably, since before my oldest was born.
Does he know about your drug use?
He knows that I got in trouble with this charge, yes.
So my question is, does he know about your drug use?
He knows I had a drug problem before, yes.
And does he know specifically about this charge?
Yes,
And does he use?
no, he does not.
And is Child Protective Services involved?
They have an investigation for a retaliation thing, but it had nothing to do with this charge.
What is the retaliation about?
My friend's boyfriend decided to call CPS on me out of retaliation just to get us away from him. It's a long story, but
Oh, what did they allege when they called CPS?
that I left my kids alone at his house and I was supposed to return when I got my income tax or something like that. But it was not true. He just wanted us to get away from his boyfriend, so because he had just gotten out of jail and we were there helping him. And yeah, he was just abusive, so he wanted me out of the way
All right, so he was abusive?
towards his boyfriend, and I was there helping him while he was in jail, so we were there helping him and he did that.
And you allowed your children around that person?
No, he was in jail, so we don't talk to them anymore at all, but
All right, anything else?
Your Honor, and you know, I did speak to Ms. Humphrey, and she relayed to me that, she did try to contact probation to, you know, get that PSI cleared up before this warrant was issued, but she just had the issue with it, with her work, where the appointment was made, and so she contacted, and I know the court, is not concerned about the PSI at this time, but,
Well, no, she had a choice to make. Her choice was either do her PSI, which would result in this court following this agreement or not, and she chose not to. That's where we are.
understood, Your Honor.
All right. Anything else you wish to say on her behalf?
Nothing else, Judge.
Anything else from the state?
No.
All right. This is what the court is going to do. Court is going to sentence you to an $800 fine. That will be probated, 4 years deferred adjudication, proof of employment within 30 days. There's to be no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. And probation, she is not allowed to work in the medical field unless they are aware of this charge. So you need to have them write a letter with the contact person at your work saying that they're aware that you're charged with this possession less than a gram case, and they still want you to work for them. Do you understand?
yes, ma'am.
There's to be regular reporting by Zoom or in person. And Ms. Abrams, even with that letter, she's still not allowed to work around medications. She's not allowed to be a home healthcare provider, and she's not allowed to have employment involving children. I'm going to do the UA hotline until further notice. Probation will do a TAP evaluation, and that'll be done out of custody. If she missed that TAP appointment, file a motion to revoke and follow TAP recommendations. If TAP requests inpatient treatment, we'll start with intensive outpatient treatment. There's going to be 120 sober meetings in 120 days. Take in consideration 2024 CR 3189. 120 hours of community service restitution. How far did you go in school?
I graduated.
All right, so what are you planning on doing with the rest of your life, employment wise?
I was in the medical field, for medical assisting, and I wanted to open up my own billing company, doing medical billing and coding,
Mhm.
but I don't know if that's an option anymore.
It doesn't appear to be. Let me explain something to you. You're on probation for a drug case where you obviously have an issue with drug use. So you're not allowed to be in a medical field where you dispense medication, work around anyone who has to take medication. Do you understand?
Yes.
All right, 120 hours community service restitution. I'm gonna order parenting classes. Once she completes parenting classes, the community service hours will be deemed satisfied. There should be CPS compliance, field visits, 1 time per month until in treatment. And probation, whatever the TAP recommendations recommend, we are gonna start with intensive outpatient treatment. Probation, is there anything else she needs? Is there anything else you need from the court to be successful? Is there anything else you need from the court to be successful on this probation? All right, did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it? Because this is a plea bargaining agreement, because I followed your plea bargaining agreement, because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes.
All right, and I'll ask that the warrant be recalled.
Sorry, just for clarification on the record. It's for 4 years stay, not 3 years.
Yes. Okay, you'll take a seat in the box.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Cesar Gutierrez.
Yeah. Mr. Mora's not here.
Okay. All right, Mr. Mora. Where are you? Come
He's right
forward,
there.
please. Mr. Mora? Yes, we're gonna recall you back for September 10th. There's a doctor who's gonna speak with you. Do you have any questions? All right, we'll see you back on the 10th, okay?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
You may be excused, Your Honor.
Yes.
Thank you.
Cesar Gutierrez? Yeah, I was wondering about that. Oh, thank you. Well, we say someone, we know who, don't we? All right, today is the plea deadline date. So, jury,
Yes, Your Honor.
all right, thank you for dressing appropriately for trial.
I believe the state is going to be asking for continuance, Your Honor.
All right. Well, can I see the state, please, on this case?
Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Young, today is, I know it says jury trial on the docket, but our jury trials are on Tuesdays. So those are the cases that go to trial. How much time do y'all need for a jury trial on this?
I think it would be less than a day, Your Honor,
All right, so probably 2 days because we do jury selection.
probably.
State, do you anticipate this jury trial lasting past 2 days?
No.
All right, so Ms. Ferguson, can you put Mr. Gutierrez for the next trial setting? It's 2 days, it's criminal trial division. It should be short. And then state on this one, before you all leave, if you will prepare an acknowledgement of discovery.
Yes, sir.
All right, and once you sign the acknowledgement of discovery, you will be excused.
And are we coming back tomorrow, Your Honor?
Let's see, she's gonna give me a date, August 6th.
I'd prefer the 9th of July.
I know, the only thing is that we have, what do we have tomorrow? Is it a murder trial? Okay,
My understanding is the state is going to try and dismiss and re-indict, Your Honor. So I'd like to have that done as quickly as we can.
Okay.
And we'd also like it to be a summons rather than a new bond. Since
Okay.
it's not really his fault that this is happening.
all right, state. Are you all anticipating on re-indicting this case?
Yes,
All right. And when do you anticipate seeking to do that?
that I do not know because I do not know how quickly or slowly cases are being brought to grand jury by our institution.
All right, then let's do this. If you could perhaps give Mr. Young the intake attorney's number where they can contact him and let him know when they anticipate taking this to the grand jury so that he doesn't need to make another bond.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right,
And I will accept whatever the court tells me to do.
all right. And Ms. Ferguson, what date did you say?
August 6th.
All right, so we'll be back on August 6th, and that will be your jury trial date.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, you're welcome. Once you sign the reset
Yeah, go
form,
ahead and have a seat.
you will be excused, and then defense, once you sign the acknowledgement, you will be excused.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, state your excuse.
Appreciate it, Your Honor.
You're welcome. You need to unmute, sir. What's your name?
Yes, Jose Gonzalez.
Okay, just give me a moment.
Okay.
And sir, you need to have a seat and find a stationary place.
Okay.
All right, and Miss Marianne Oliveris, you need to have a seat and unmute. All right, Miss Oliveris? Yes, who is your attorney?
I don't have an attorney. I'm actually here to speak for Mr. Gonzalez.
She had the kids.
Okay, just give us 1 moment. And we're gonna wait for
Okay.
your attorney to appear, Mr. Gonzalez. I'll put you in the waiting room, and as soon as she appears, we will come back.
I'll give her a call right now.
Thank you.
Gasol Gator, Adele's his middle name.
Okay.
Or Hotkey for defense. Hotkey.
Sorry, I'll get your name. I'm sorry, but it's.
You're good.
All right, who's the prosecutor on this case? All right, a failure to remit tax.
Yes.
All right, so where are we on discovery?
I have a lot of paper. I don't have any media or anything like that. I'm not sure if there is any, but we'll double check with the state. I'm probably gonna need to do an AKI motion to get my fraud examiner on this. This is a financial crime type thing, and it's a lot easier when I have somebody to explain it to me.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, on this case, can I have a 30-day reset for discovery, and whatever motions you need to file, counsel need to be filed by that date?
No problem, Judge.
All right, thanks, Nate. Oh, wait a second. You have to get the date. Just a second.
Oh, sorry.
All right, we'll be back on
Uh,
August 6th. All right, and thank you for
That's not
dressing
a good date
appropriately
for me,
for court.
Judge. But I can negotiate with Norma.
No, you negotiate with the court. And really, it's not a negotiation. Whatever date I say, that's the date you have. So when
Okay.
can you be here?
Actually, yeah, August 6th, never mind.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, if you'll give them a reset form for August 6th, and that will be for discovery. Thank you.
Have a seat.
Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Christopher Esquivel. Hello, thank you for dressing appropriately for court.
Thank you.
All right, and if the attorneys, if you'll state your name for the court reporter. She's learning everyone's name.
Perfect. Go ahead.
Ally Jackson, the state.
Alfonso Cabañas for the defendant, Christopher Esquivel.
And who do you have with you?
Judge, and this is Ashanti Wilson. She's a second year at Tech Law School.
Oh, we're not gonna hold that against you. Well, welcome. You're always welcome to come to court anytime. Are you enjoying law school?
Yes.
Yeah, I always tell people, after your first year, it goes by so quickly. So enjoy it.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. So we need a jury trial date. How long do y'all expect this trial to last?
2 days, Judge.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, 2 day for family violence. When are they up? Do we think the other case is going to go?
And the one in next week?
Yes. Is that going to work
It's a
out?
strong possibility. I'm gonna try.
Okay.
I need to talk to one of the.
All right. So Ms. Ferguson, on this case, put it for next week. Or whenever family violence is up next.
Yeah. It's that, or I think like the first or second week of August would be the next one after that, yeah.
August 6th, second week of August.
Okay, so here's my question. So this week is criminal trial division. Next week is family violence.
It was requested by the state and the defense.
I'm sorry, what?
You have put Mary Diaz that week, Judge. That was the date.
Yeah, no, that's fine. So what date is that? The Mary Diaz date?
It's the 16th. Yeah.
All right, so put this on the 16th. They're saying that things maybe work out. So 16th.
16th, works for me, Your Honor.
All right, so that's a tentative date. We may be in a murder trial. If we are, then it's not going to go. All right, so we'll come back on July 16th. Is there anything else?
No, Judge.
All right. Once you receive the reset form, you're excused. Thank you for dressing appropriately for court.
Thank you, Judge.
All right. Joseph Ramirez,
Joseph Ramirez.
are you all ready to proceed?
No, Judge,
Oh, yeah,
I've talked to my client, and he wants to retain counsel, so he wants a reset to come back with with a retained attorney. Titus is.
State, are you ready on Ramirez to proceed with a contested?
No, I haven't.
All right, so Mr. Ramirez, today is the day for your contested hearing. So if you have an attorney that you want here now, they can be here now. But this case was set on June 13th for today for a contested hearing. If you wanted to hire an attorney, you should have already hired one. So here's the thing, we're going forward today.
Okay.
All right. All right, thank you.
Let me confer with my client. Judge.
Sure.
Thanks.
Hello. Hi, thank you so much for dressing appropriately for court. Your attorney sent a message to the court that she is ill with a sinus infection. I know how those are. So we are going to recall you. Do you wish to continue with the attorney you have?
No.
You don't? All right, just have a seat and we'll see if we can have another attorney appointed to represent.
If she's sick, I'll just keep her. I'll talk to her. She's gonna tell me no.
All right, so if not, just let the court know.
Okay. I'll keep her.
All right, Ms. Ferguson. Recall this for Thursday. Are you employed?
I am. Can I do it on a Monday? I'm off Mondays.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, recall this for the 15th. This is gonna be the last reset with this attorney, okay?
Please, thank you.
You're welcome. And Mr. Scott, that's your plea deadline date, so you need to let the court know whether or not you're accepting the state's offer. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you. Otillo Espinoza Ruiz.
Judge, on this one, I think at the last setting, we've done a discovery setting to get some video over to the defense.
Mhm.
I was informed today that there were 2 videos that they were still missing.
Okay,
So I'm in the process of downloading that right now.
all right, so it will be available though.
Yeah, I guess, Judge. I'm putting it on a flash drive today.
All right, so what we're gonna do on this case, and how long do you anticipate that video is?
It's a pretty sizable file, Your Honor.
I started downloading it to the flash drive, whenever Mario brought it to my attention earlier this morning. It's still downloading more of the videos.
All right, so Ms. Ferguson, if you can recall this for the end of July for a plea deadline date, is that enough time, counsel?
That should be perfect time, Your Honor.
July 30th.
Right, your plea deadline date is gonna be July 30th. Thank you for dressing appropriately for trial. Once you sign the reset form, you're excused.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. And state on that date, I'll also need an acknowledgement of discovery sign.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Thank you.
Kevin Wright. Sir, you need to have a seat. Oh, what's your name?
Antonio Perez, my name is Gutierrez.
First row, sir.
Yes.
In the first row.
All right, and Norma, if you can let Adrian know his client is here. Hello.
Good morning.
And counsel, if you'll introduce yourself to the court reporter. All right, counsel, you're on this side. All right, where are we on discovery?
Judge, I think we've received all the discovery in this case, and we would like to have another pretrial if we could.
All right, were they able to tender an offer or no?
They did this morning.
Okay. How old are you?
21.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, set this for the second week in August for a plea deadline date. And it's Kevin Wright.
August 13th.
All right, so we're going to come back on August 13th. At that time, you'll need to let the court know whether or not you've reached an agreement with the state. Do you understand?
Ma'am.
All right, so if there's anyone you need to talk to, I'm sure your attorney will help you with that.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, Mr. Wright, is there anything else you need from the court?
No, ma'am.
All right, thank you. Deputy Laura, Wright is done.
Yes, Judge, thank you.